In this video, we are going to have a look at list of applications which are very useful with some honorable mentions, and I'm sure these apps are going to be useful in your life. They are based on productivity, automation, some of them are also based on management, etc. So the first app which we are going to talk about is called IFTTT. Now this app I use almost every day. I say I use, but I just automate it and leave it. It just does its job. It basically allows you to automate posting or replying to anything in social media. This makes it so much easy for you to just concentrate on other stuff which is actually important. Like for example, in my case, if I release a YouTube video, I could automate that I need to share it to Twitter every time I release a new video. That could be done in IFTTT, and it's just time saving, and you don't have to keep reminding yourself to share your video just in case. And it just does not work in YouTube and Twitter and stuff like that. It comes everywhere. It integrates with Instagram posts, Twitter, YouTube, Tumblr, Evernote, Slack, Google Assistant, Google Calendar, and so on. I bet there are more applications, more than what I just mentioned, but you could just go ahead and then automate any of the features from any of these applications whenever needed. And it's not just useful for content creators in general, it's also way more useful for productivity based stuff. You could go ahead and then automate to create a task in Google Calendar whenever a specific event happens. You could be so specific when it comes to the automation that I can name anything and it could probably be done by this application. Moving on to the next application, which is Zulip. This application is of course open source, and it's basically the exact copy of Discord, but it's open source. It allows you to go ahead and then have any functionality the same as Discord. You have chat rooms, you have messages, you have starred messages, you could mention anything, you could create your own streams, which is basically chat rooms in Discord, and so on. It is literally Discord but open source. As simple as that. This app also allows you to plan stuff inside the chat room itself natively without you having to go into some other app and plan stuff there. It reduces this work and also allows you to work with your team just inside one place without scattering a lot of functionalities in different apps. The next application is called Etherpad. This is basically a text editor. It looks good out of the box, and it's obviously open source. But here's the thing, the main primary reason why this text editor is used is because this allows you to sync code between your team. So it's basically a text editor similar to Gitpod and the new editor which GitHub has as well, but it's way more primarily focused on editing itself rather than the Git part of it. It's mainly focused on cloud and syncing the code rather than committing it to Git and then doing stuff like that. You understand my point. The application is very elegant and also comes with its own documentation, which is pretty detailed and could be followed along to solve any of your doubts if you have any. Up next, we have a management application which helps you to manage financial stuff, and the name of this application is called Firefly 3. Like there's an application called Firefly which you don't want to choose. That's not the application which I'm talking about. The application which I'm talking about is called Firefly 3. It is primarily made to manage the finance and accounting. It provides a good looking stats and has a lot of features built in. It's very powerful, especially if you are managing a lot of finance. This is really helpful in many places, especially for companies. Now the next application is similar to Notion. It's a project management application, but it is way more feature rich, has a way more good looking UI, and is open source. It also has many more interesting features which keeps the workflow of project management itself very interesting.
The next morning.
Now the next application is similar to Notion. It's a project management application. It is way more feature rich, has a way more good looking UI, and is open source. It also has many more interesting features which keeps the workflow of project management itself very interesting. The name of the application which I'm talking about is called Taiga. It follows a tab system wherein you could sign in one tab and then manage whatever project you want to manage, and then sign in if you want to another tab wherein you could manage some other accounts, very similar to the workspaces which Notion has, but the tab system I think is way quicker than the workspace system. The application is slowly gaining popularity in the recent days, and I think it has a lot of features, enough features to actually overtake Notion. Also, considering it's open source, it also has another advantage over there. The features this software has is clearly endless. It's not much like Notion, but it is obviously a project management app which follows a different kind of workflow. It also has some properties of Notion, like it could have tags, color systems, changing colors to make it more interesting, a bold system, workspaces like tabs, and it also has other features which Notion does not have, like Kanbans, like timeline management, integration of the application with emails, and so on. The fact that this is open source also allows you to install third-party plugins, which gives it more functionalities which you probably won't expect in Notion or any other application in general. This application also allows you to change themes into various stuff which Notion does not. It just has light and dark, unlike this application which has way more than just light and dark. Now, before moving on to the last one, we are gonna have a look at the two honorable mentions. The first one is called Kodi. This application is basically a media player. Now you might ask why. There are a lot of media players like VLC, MPD and so on. Why? Well, here's the thing. This media player is primarily focused on the library of media rather than playing the media itself. It allows you to search through the media whatever you want. Even has online facilities through which you could search around in the web, again install it and then finally view it as well. VLC has way more functionality than this when it comes to like playing the media in general, and that's it. But Kodi has more functionalities than VLC when it comes to searching around what is available and maintaining the media itself. And now finally moving on to the number one application, we have, well, I'm not going to say that so easily. The first thing you probably have to do is subscribe if you have not. If you're watching this video till now, I probably assume that you like this video, so consider liking this video. With that said, if you want to support my channel, I highly recommend you to join the Patreon, become a member of my channel. I'll be releasing one video every day to the members and Patreons of my channel, and trust me, you'll find it interesting. Finally, moving on to the number one application, we have Thing. This application is basically, as the name suggests, allowing you to sync between files. But here's the thing, it allows you to sync between two computers without needing the third-party computer, like servers. It does not require any server like how most people share it through a Google Drive and stuff like that. You don't need it. You just need two computers, the first one and the second one wherein you want the files to be shared, and that's it. You don't need any other third-party server or application in general in order to go ahead and then, well, share and sync the two files. It's not just sharing, just to be precise, it is syncing. It syncs the files between two computers, and I think that it would be very useful for most people who wants to actually just sync between two computers. So yeah, that's how you could use this app, and that's the complete list of all applications. If you like this video, like, subscribe, and I'll meet you in the next video. Join the membership. Bye.